I grew up in Venezuela. I lived there until I was 19. I was a failed professional tennis player. So when you are a failure as a professional tennis player, you come to play in the university in the US. America to me feels you could, with hard work, be anyone you want. That possibility is true here. I got a lot of luck along the way. I was at the right place at the right time. The right people helped me, all these things. But you don't get that lucky in other countries.
So would you say luck happens when opportunity meets preparedness only in America?
I wouldn't say only in America, but I think there is a bigger chance of happiness here. So I don't know. I think happiness is one of those things that is not like end goal. It's not somewhere that it's not like a mountaintop. It's the journey. I know that sounds corny. Everyone sees that in every Instagram post, but it's truly just going day by day and realizing like, okay, I have my health. I have people that love me. I have amazing memories. You know, this kind of goes back to my rough past with my mom. Never really feeling loved by my mom or by anyone really. And when I'm with my nephew, I feel love. I feel like I love him and that he loves me back. And even that realization right now, my eyes are getting watery. It was the first time I remember when he was 3 that I was like, this is what love feels like.
And you like being single?
Being single is awesome. I think back in the day, I wanted a girlfriend so badly. Not because I wanted a girlfriend per se, but because my self-esteem was attached to what girls thought of me. The jungle and the beach were kind of close. So we were walking and the jungle was like kind of like right here. And as I'm walking, all I see is couples having sex. We're trying to find a spot for me and her to just start making out. And every time I think there's a spot clean, I just see girls on their knees giving someone a or a guy giving a girl head. And that happened for like 100 meals. And then fast forward to now, this is what I'm doing for a living. I'm traveling the world, teaching all these things. And it started because I said yes to this naked guy in Mexico.
You immigrated to the United States, literally. What do you think about what's going on in this country right now when it comes to immigration?
As an American, I can be like, what the f?
Before we jump right back into this episode, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. It really means the world to my team and me. And there's only one tiny little thing you can do to support us, and that is subscribing. It is 100% free for you, but it helps us a lot. So please hit that subscribe button now. I promise you won't regret it because we give our best to come up with amazing meetings with Americans. Thank you so much. And let's get back to the interview. Meeting with Nesto Farinas. Welcome to the show and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited. It's my first podcast.
Wow. I'm interested in getting to know you better. You're such an interesting person. And
thank you.
Just said your whole life is a lie. Why is that?
It's a great question. It's a lie because I have a hair transplant and sometimes people tell me like, oh, I didn't know you have one. So that's a lie. I do laser hair removal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as hairy as I'm supposed to be. I'm like, before I did the laser hair removal, I was like a monkey.
Oh, wow.
Like my back, you couldn't see my fucking skin. That's how bad it was. So I've been doing laser hair removal for like 8 years. That's how hairy I was. I'm still hairy, but it's more tolerable. I can take my shirt off without scaring people.
How did you do your hair transplantation?
So I've done 2, actually, both in Turkey, in Istanbul. I did it there just because it's cheaper. I heard that it was good, but accessible. Here in the US is like $10,000, $20,000. And yeah, I just went in Google, try to like see through the reviews and try to figure out like if there was one bad review of someone, and I picked this clinic that had like just clean reviews the whole time, and I just went with it. And it was surprisingly good. Like the whole process is maybe like $4,000 between your flight tickets and what you pay them. But it's great. Once you get there, they tell you like, okay, at the airport, meet me in this gate. They pick you up in a limo. They put you in a 4-star hotel. The hotel has breakfast, like nice breakfast. They pick you up the next day, take you to the clinic. In the clinic, they treat you really well. There's like a guest that goes with you, like a woman that explains to you, like calms you down and all those things. Then you see the doctor and you tell the doctor like, what do you want? And then he tells you like, that's not possible or that's possible. And then he's like, okay, he like marks it with a crayon.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is where your hairline is going to be. And then they explain you the whole process, what they're going to do. There are different processes. For me, they pull out each individual hair, but they like get under the skin and like pull the root.
Yeah.
So the only part that hurts is when they're putting the anesthesia. So like they put a needle in your head and put the anesthesia, and that really hurts. But then after they go like this and it doesn't hurt. And then it lasts about 4 to 5 hours. The first time they gave me what I thought was a painkiller, but it wasn't. I was high as fuck. They didn't tell me that I was going to be high, which I don't mind. I didn't mind. I was like, this is perfect. I was like fucking high. I don't know what they gave me. But yeah, I was like, just didn't feel any pain, and I was kind of enjoying it in some way. So it went by really fast for me the first time. And then the second time, they didn't give me anything. They didn't even offer.
So you went to Turkey twice.
I went to Turkey twice. Yeah, this is my second
How many
time.
years were there in between?
So the first year was back like 3.5 years ago. And the reason I went back, let me explain this. So like, if this is my head, they transplanted the first time in the front. Yeah. So they transplanted these 2 hairs. Now my normal hairline continues to reside. So right now I have the transplant space and then my hair. So what I went to do, I went to put more hair here and then hair in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy now with the result?
Well, so it looks really good right now. The hairs that they transplant will fall off, and then the roots will stay, and then new hairs will come.
Okay.
So when they start falling out, I won't look as good, but then that will be like a month, and then they'll start growing again. And in 5 to 6 months, I'll have like long hair. And then we'll see.
You already went through this process.
Yeah. So I kind of know, I'm familiar with it. And honestly, it is healing way faster than my first one, like way faster. Yeah, I'm 2 weeks in and I'm fine. I just worked out and there's nothing visibly wrong with me. The first time I did it, people were like, something happened with your head? Like my forehead was swollen.
Oh, okay.
Because it was the front.
Yeah.
So like the blood kind of came down and like my eyes were a little swollen. My nose was a little swollen. But this time, super happy with it.
Would you recommend?
I would recommend it. Yeah, like I come from having like very low self-esteem. It's better now, but as a kid, I have very low self-esteem. I don't think I could pull off being bald. I was thinking about it too much. Like I was going places, and obviously I need to work on this on myself. But instead of working on it, I just go to Turkey and get a surgery. Yeah, everywhere I went, I was subconscious of like, are people looking at my hair? I'm short, so like I feel everyone is above me, just like looking
How
over
tall
my
are
head.
you?
5'6". Yeah. I do a lot of acrobatics, acro yoga, and I have women behind me all the time, and I'm just like, they're looking at my head. Obviously, they're not. Obviously, no one gives a fuck. But in my head, I had that thought, and it's good to just get rid of that thought.
Okay, let's go back to your childhood. Where did you grow up?
So I'm from Venezuela. I grew up in Venezuela. I lived there until I was 19. I have a sister that played tennis and got a tennis scholarship to play here in the US. And I used to come every other summer to visit her. And that's why my English is like, doesn't have an accent. Because when I was little, I visited her a couple times, maybe like 5, 6 times.
With your parents? Or?
With my parents, yeah, with my mom. And yeah, because of that, I think just being around the English language every now and then when I was little helped not have a thick accent.
And why did you have a low self-esteem?
Oh man, we're gonna get into this. We're going deep. Oh, so many reasons. I mean, I just didn't think I was an attractive kid when I was young. Yeah, I just,
Not attractive in what way?
Physically, mainly. I always thought that I was funny, easygoing. Like, maybe there were many personality flaws that I had, but I didn't notice them. What I noticed was my physical. I was freaking 12 with a mustache. So that was tough. And in Venezuela, in Latin America, the culture is very like, here in the US, like, oh, don't bully people and that's bad. In Venezuela and in South America, like you call people what they are. So like if you're too skinny and we're gonna get a nickname for you. You're Mr. Too Skinny. And if you're too fat, then we're gonna call you Fatty. And if you're too black, we're gonna call you Blackie. And if you're too hairy, we're gonna call you this and that. So, I had a mustache at like 12, 11. My arms were super hairy. So had to deal with all the jokes. It wasn't all directed to me. Like everyone had something that people were joking to. So it wasn't like they were picking on me. But
But as a child, you take it personally.
yeah, of course. Yeah. So just grew up like that. And yeah, it was hard. And also like I didn't have that much money. Like I wasn't my family wasn't financially off. So like I never was able to like dress nicely and go to the parties where the kids were going, and just never really had any luck with girls at a young age. So all those things kind of pile and they become like a confirmation bias over time. And that was like that until like after I finished college. Like even through college, I had that issue.
But college, that was already in the US.
Yes. I was already in the US. I came when I was 19. I played tennis. I was a failed professional tennis player.
Oh, wow.
So when you're a failure as a professional tennis player, you come to play in the university in the US. That's everyone's plan all over the world. They're like, plan A is to be professional tennis player, and 99% cannot make it. So the best option after that is, okay, I'll go to the US and get a free education. So that's what I did. I followed my sister's footsteps because she did the same.
How much older is she?
13 years older.
13 years
Yeah,
older.
so she's much older. Yeah, she left the house when I was 5. Yeah.
Was she a role model for you?
She was. I think we're getting deep into this. I had a lot of issues with my mom. So I think for me, my sister was someone that could alleviate some of that pain. But then when she left, it was just me and my mom, and that was rough.
What about your dad?
He died when I was 5 as well.
Oh,
Yeah, car accident.
Oh, car accident.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't have any like vivid memories of my dad, unfortunately, because I guess I was too little. So.
And what did your mom do?
As a job, as a profession? She was, she worked for a university, like administrator. But because she was crazy, she lost her job. And then,
Crazy in what way?
yeah, she was crazy. She was like, how you call it? Bipolar, manic bipolar. So she had very highs and very lows. And she was like a year or 2 from retirement. And in Venezuela, if you get retired, like the government pays you forever until you die. And she lost it like 2 years before it. So she worked like 23 years and then she lost it because she's crazy.
And then you get nothing?
And you get nothing. You just get fired and like nothing. And so we went from like a normal middle class family to just like a struggle bus. Luckily, she already had like an apartment that she bought and things like that. So like it wasn't like we could live and like we had a roof. Like no one was gonna kick us out.
Where in Venezuela?
Where?
Yeah.
In Caracas, the capital. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your sister was already in the US
Already
back
in the
then,
US.
and she stood in the US.
Yeah, she stayed in the US, once. Normally, like especially if you're from South America, especially back then, if you made it to the US, you did the best to stay. Things are changing now. It's not as popular, but back then that's the thing. Everyone wanted to come to the US. So yeah, she came and she stayed.
Was it always your dream to follow her in her footsteps to come to the US?
My dream was always to be a professional tennis player. The US sounded amazing. I just wanted to get out of Venezuela and get out of being around my mom. The dream was to be a tennis player, but I ended up in the US, which is a good second place prize for sure. Yeah.
And how did you feel about leaving your mom behind in Venezuela?
This might sound selfish, but I was happy to leave. Yeah. I wasn't, again, because I only play tennis, all my time and resources went into that. I was very committed. I was very intense in pursuing that dream where like I didn't party, didn't do much other than just play tennis. I would train for like 5 hours, high intensity stuff, like sprints and weights and all these things. And I also had a job teaching tennis. So like my whole life revolved around it.
Also to get away from home? To distract
yourself?
Well,
no, to pay for like my rackets and everything. Because my mom wasn't really helping me with that. So I would teach to be able to play. And I did that for a year. And I always tell people this because I do a lot of things and I have a lot of energy. And people ask me like, how do you do this? And it's because there was a period in my life from like 16 to like 22 where on top of trying to be a professional athlete, I was also working, and I didn't have a car or any help. And after working like 5 hours a day and then working out for 5 hours, I would walk home with like all my bags and all these things, and my shoe has holes, and like my clothes, and I stink because like you're sweating all the time. And I had to cook my own dinner and wash my own clothes, and like life was very hard. I didn't know that it was that hard for me. I was just going through it. I was like, oh, this is what you do.
Pushing through.
I was just pushing through. Looking back, I'm like, dude, you had a fucking rough life. So when I came to the US and I finally graduated and started working and I stopped playing tennis, it was like, oh my God, I have so much time. I have like endless time.
Yeah.
I'm not tired anymore, and I can dress nicely, and I have money, and just life became like easy mode.
Yeah, because you trained as if you were a professional tennis player.
Yeah. In comparison, it's like, going to the gym for an hour. Okay, that's a joke. Like,
what did you do with all those free hours, minutes in your day?
Yeah, I started picking up hobbies like crazy. Like I started doing handstands because there was a girl that was doing handstands, and I liked her, and I was like talking to her, so I started doing that. Started snowboarding. That's when I started traveling a lot. Went to the West Coast for the first time, went to Alaska. I literally went all over the US because I didn't have my visa yet, my green card, so I couldn't leave the country. So I finally have money to travel.
What's your status now?
I'm a citizen. I'm American, so it counts.
Meeting with Americans. That's why
it counts. Yeah.
How did you become an American?
I can't say. I can't say, so shoot me a DM. Yeah, I
shoot him a DM.
Yeah, but I made it. Got my citizenship, and it was a long process from when I graduated to when I got it. I graduated at like 23, and to when I got it, I was 29. So I was trapped in the US and trapped in my life where I've only been to Venezuela and I've only been to the US. So I'd never seen the world up until like being 29.
And now you travel the whole world.
And now I've been all over the world. I've been like 33 countries or something like that. And now I'm 35. So in 6 years, I visited.
Why did you want to become a citizen?
Because things in Venezuela are horrible. Yeah. If I was in Venezuela right now, I don't know, maybe I would be much better off, but most likely not. Things in Venezuela are very harsh.
No perspectives.
No perspective, and there's no that promise that sometimes countries make where like, okay, if you follow the rules, if you go to school, if you do this, we're going to offer you certain things like law and order on the streets, and maybe, health insurance in Europe, or free education in other countries. Like there's none of that in Venezuela. It's just kind of everyone for themselves type of thing. Is a very dangerous country. I think it's a little less dangerous now, but back when I was there, like I never got robbed because I looked like a homeless person. Like my shoes had holes and shit, so like no one was gonna rob me. But I had many friends. Like I had a friend, Jorge, where his family was well off, and they lived in a penthouse, really nice home, and they got broken in like 3 times. Yeah. So in Venezuela, if you had anything, you were a target. You are a target. I don't know about now. I haven't been there in like 7 years. But
and your mom, have you seen her?
Yeah, my mom is here in the US. And now she lives with my sister. And things are way better with me and her, which is good.
Where do they live?
In Alpharetta. Yeah, which is I'm living with them as well now.
Okay.
I have a house that I bought right before I decided to start a new life. I bought a house thinking that I was going to be in Atlanta forever, and then 6 months later was like, nope. So that house is being rented. There's people living there. I have 3 rooms, so there's 3 people living in the house. But so when I come to Atlanta to visit, I can't stay there, so I stay with my family.
What does it mean to be an American for you personally?
What does it mean to be an American? I'm not a big fan of like labels and putting people in boxes, but America to me feels like you could, with hard work, be anyone you want. That possibility is true here. Maybe not for everyone, but for the vast majority of people, it is. The market is just that big. you can come up with like the stupidest product or service. And if you can market it well, there's enough, there's 380 million people here. So there's enough to go around. And if you are lucky and smart with how you do something, there's a real chance that you can succeed. Again, I got lucky. I started my own tennis academy. And I built it up to the point where I was making like 120,000 a year with very low cost.
After graduating from college?
Not that recent. So I graduated from college, started coaching with another academy for like 3.5 years, maybe 4. And then decided to start my own thing. And then it just kind of blew off.
Wow.
And I got lucky every step of the way. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm so smart and so unique that I did this. No, I got a lot of luck along the way. I was at the right place at the right time. The right people helped me, all these things. But you don't get that lucky in other countries. You get lucky. You can get lucky like that in America. Other countries, the resources are not there. The infrastructure is not there. There's a lot of gatekeeping in some countries.
Would you say luck happens when opportunity meets preparedness only in America?
I wouldn't say only in America, but I think there is a bigger chance of happening here. There's just so much. Like if you just walk around and you look at all the restaurants, and if you go in Amazon, if you go in Walmart, there's so many little products of people that just make stuff. I'm not saying it's good for the planet. I'm not saying it's good for humanity in general, but if you want to make money, this is a place that you can make money. And like, become, amass a lot of wealth. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying if that's what you want, you can. That's not going to guarantee you happiness. And I have a lot of friends. I have my best friend actually. He owns a tennis academy as well. And I don't know how much he makes, but I'm sure he makes, I don't know, 150. But he works all the time, and he's over going out and all these things, and he just works. I wouldn't live that life.
What guarantees happiness for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. Yeah, I used to have wealth and a status, and I wasn't happy. And now I don't have that, but I have freedom and joy and stuff. And sometimes I'm still not happy. So I don't know. I think happiness is one of those things that like it's not like a end goal. It's not somewhere that it's not like a mountaintop. It's the journey. I know that sounds corny. Everyone sees that in every like Instagram post, but it's truly just going day by day and realizing like, okay, I have my health. I have people that love me. I have amazing memories. I've lived the last 10 years of my life have been incredible. So when I think about those things, I feel happy. I'm like, okay, you lived an amazing life. I've done so much crazy stuff that, to me, I think memories make you happy. Good memories make you happy. Obviously, bad memories doesn't.
What was the best memory you made?
Oh man, I have so many. The best memory. Oh, my nephew being born. Yeah, and holding him for the first time. My sister's child. Yeah, he's the person that I love the most, and he made me realize, and this kind of goes back to my rough past with my mom, never really feeling loved by my mom or by anyone really. And when I'm with my nephew, I feel love. I feel like I love him and that he loves me back. And even that realization right now, my eyes are getting watery. It's like, yeah, it was the first time I remember when he was like 3 that I was like, this is what love feels like. That's crazy that you can love another human that way. It's very like selfish, not selfish, selfless, where like, I'm not trying to like control him or anything. I just want to love him and let him be and all those things. So it was a very eye-opening thing to have him in my life, because I'm like, okay, this is what love feels like. I understand why people want to be parents now.
Do you want to be father one day?
I do. I have this joke. By the way, I used to be a comedian, which we can talk about that later. I have this joke with my friends where I'm like, yeah, I want to be a father and I want to have a kid. I don't know if I want to have a wife. But it's hard to get the kid without the wife, huh?
Why don't you want to have a wife?
I've just been single for so long that is I'm finding it hard to meet someone in the middle, to give up some of your liberties, to compromise. That's the word I was looking for. When you're in a relationship, you have to compromise, and there's things that you need to give up. And when that happens, I meet it with resistance. And the reason why I say that I prefer a kid is because with kids, number one, I find it easy giving up those things. Like if I want to go somewhere, but my nephew's like, stay here with me and watch this cartoon show. I'm like, yeah, I'll stay here. I don't care about that other thing. And then the other thing that I find easy is my relationship with kids. I have an easy. All my best friends have kids, and I'm the godfather to a lot of them. And I have an easy way with kids. I don't know what it is.
But they grow up one day.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'm on the easy stages, for sure. It gets complicated. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I feel like, for example, you can just tell a kid like, hey, we're moving to Thailand tomorrow. He's like, great. I don't know what Thailand is. I don't even know what moving out is. And you just get the kid, and as long as you're giving him love, he'll be happy and he'll adapt to the new environment. You can't do that to your wife. You can't just be like, hey, tomorrow we're moving to Thailand. He'll be like, what?
Yeah, if you have a partner, they will like.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, what? No, we're not. What are we doing there? What are you going to do to sustain us? Like, fuck, okay, great. We're not moving to Thailand. So this is great. I'm never going to have a girlfriend now that this goes viral. I'm never going to have a wife. Oh, love it.
So it's all about freedom, I would say, that makes you happy.
I guess so. Yeah, I do value it. I do value freedom a lot. Yeah.
What would you say, in your opinion, and that's a question that I'm asking every guest who's sitting here next to me, is the American dream?
Yeah. I mean, the American dream as we know it is coming here with nothing. And when you die, you have a lot, and that could be in many shapes and forms.
And your personal American dream?
Yeah. I think it's just the freedom to kind of do what you want and to pursue what you want to do. The thing is it's scary to do that. It's not easy to say, okay, whatever, I want to be a carpenter, so I'm going to quit everything and start my carpenter career. It's very challenging, especially now where things are very expensive. You can't just like, oh, I'm going to quit my day job and become, a carpenter. It's really hard to do that now. But I feel back in the day, that was a possibility. I don't know now. The American dream has become very blurry. And again, maybe I don't think about it too much because I don't put too many labels on things. But yeah, I'm saying the freedom to do everything, but then I come here and I don't feel that free. I go to Thailand or Indonesia or whatever, and I feel more free there.
Why?
So
what gives you that feeling though?
There is just not that much structure. And I know maybe that sounds bad, but like when I'm in Bali, for example, I get on my scooter shirtless, wearing flip-flops, and I go in a restaurant and I'm just wearing a tank top and I'm sweaty, and I don't have to think too much about, like, here in America, I have to like, okay, I'm going this way, I have to dress up and I have to do this. And if I want to visit a friend, I have to drive 40 minutes and then I'm stuck in traffic, and there's so many variables.
Mm-hmm.
Over there's very little variables. Like if you want to do something, you just gotta go do it. And it's very accessible. It's very cheap if you want to do something fun. If you want to see something awesome, like an amazing waterfall, you can just drive 20 minutes somewhere and just sit there and watch the waterfall. If you want to party, you don't have to drop $300 on a Friday night. You can just go to a bar and sit and meet amazing people and have a great night for like $10. So it's the freedom of like, I don't know, being able to do what you want, because I guess it's so cheap that it's accessible.
When you earn your money in America and go down.
Yeah, exactly. Cheap for me, right? Yeah. A local might not be able to do all those things. yeah, here when I come, I'm kind of limited. I'm like my friends, because I quit my tennis academy and now I'm doing other things. Um, my friends go out and they're all they're all well off, so they eat at fancy restaurants or something. Like, guys, I can't fucking eat there anymore. I'll meet you after for drinks. Um, yeah, like if I want to do something far in Atlanta, um, it's just not as accessible as it is in those places I just mentioned.
What was the craziest thing you did there in Bali?
In Bali?
Mm.
Oh man.
I survived an earthquake there.
Oh, an earthquake.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
crazy.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking, like, what memory comes to your mind?
I have so many epic memories. Bali's a very um like it holds a big part of my heart because it's what pushed me to quit my life. So I had my tennis academy. I went to Bali, and some things were going bad in my tennis academy. And when I went to Bali, I was like, "Fuck, I have to quit. Like I can't. I need to leave. Like it needs to happen." And then I went back again for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm gonna do it." So I just came back, and a lot of things were falling off the rails on my academy. So it wasn't like I was so brave that I just quit when everything was high. I quit as the ship was sinking. So that had to happen for me to be like, okay, well, everything is going to shit this way, so I might as well make the jump this way. And yeah, I bought a one way to Bali, and I went
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, I landed on January 1st, like very how do you call it? Very corny, very like, oh, I'm gonna get there New Year, New Year, new me.
New luck.
Yeah.
New life.
Yeah. And back then, I wasn't an acro yoga coach. I was just an acro yoga hobby, like just as a hobby. And I was like, I'm going to be a coach. And the thing about Bali is that have you been to Bali?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course, you survived the earthquake. You just meet so many people along the way. And yeah, there's just so many people that impacted my life and like push me and like encourage me to keep going.
Mhm.
But going back to your question, the crazy story. I was at a party once with this chick, and it was like a party on the beach,
Mhm.
and we like me and her had a little thing like for like a week. So we went to this party kind of together, and then we wanted to get a little bit more intimate there on the beach. So we like walked down the beach, but the jungle and the beach were kind of close. So we were walking, and the jungle was like kind of like right here.
Mhm.
And as I'm walking, all I see is couples having sex.
Oh.
Like we're trying to find a spot for me and her to just like start making out.
Mhm.
And every time I think there's a spot clean, I just see like girls on their knees giving someone a blowjob, or a guy giving a girl head. So like a girl with her legs open and a guy like just, and that happened for like 100 meters.
Where
I
in
just kept
Bali?
walking in Canggu. Yeah, I just kept walking, and it just kept happening until we found a spot to finally like
Do
make
the
out.
same.
Yeah, exactly, to do the same. So that was a great memory. Sorry, I couldn't come up with a more wholesome memory, but yeah, that was a crazy one.
How long did you stay in Bali back then when you arrived in January
So the first time
1st?
I stayed there for 5 months.
Wow.
I wasn't just in Bali. I went to Thailand for like 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and where else did I go? Um, I just went to Thailand for like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
How did you get into yoga?
acro
And whether
yoga.
you believe it or not, just yesterday I did my first yoga class in my whole life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really
Nice.
enjoyed it. It was a great
Nice.
experience. It was a
So-
hot yoga class, but I never did yoga before. I do some meditation, but it was a great experience, and I'm interested in your
Yeah.
yoga journey.
Yeah. So acro yoga is way different. Like it has nothing to do with yoga, actually.
Ah, okay.
I want to have a meeting with all the acro yogis in the world and tell them like, can we just all agree to take the word yoga out of it? Because it's basically partner acrobatics.
Mhm.
So have you seen it or no?
I have seen it on your Instagram. but-
Okay, cool. Okay,
So
so
I
you
should
know what
like,
it is at least.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
okay.
question should be, how did you get into acro yoga?
Acro, yeah.
And
Um,
my yoga experience from yesterday has probably nothing to do with it.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I went to Mexico. This is one of the stories where I even have a video I'll show you after. This story, I love this story. So I land in Mexico City and it's COVID. So I land in Mexico City and literally I land at like 5:30. At 6, the city shuts down. The government is like, the cases are too high. We're going to shut down the city. And they shut it down completely to where like, no, even buses, nothing was working. So my friend was like, dude, I was supposed to stay there for a week. My friend was like, just go to Puerto Escondido, which is on the west. It's like a small town on the west side. I was like, what's Puerto Escondido? He's like, it's like Tulum. You're going to like it. So, okay. Literally booked a trip to Puerto Escondido, met up with randomly surfing, make friends with 2 German siblings, a brother and a sister. We just became friends. We were surfing and then like we were talking and then we just kept hanging out. And we hung out for like 5-6 days. We went skydiving, kept surfing. We went on like many adventures together. And then the last day, we found this like secret beach that you have to go in the water and the rocks, and then you go into the beach.
Okay.
And because it's so hidden, it's a naked beach. We didn't know it was a naked beach. We were just, oh, we found a beach. There was no one. There was maybe like 5 people, maybe 2 people were naked. And we're just hanging out. We're doing handstands, whatever. And then we see this older dude, maybe in his 50s, maybe like 55, with a hat and his dick out. He approaches and he's walking towards us and he's like, hey, I see you guys, super like chill, not acknowledging that he's naked. He's like, hey, I see that you guys are doing handstands. Have you ever done Acro yoga? And I was like, no. And then he's like, would you like to try it? And it was one of those things that if I had been alone, I would have said no. If I had been alone with the guy, I would have also said no. But the girl said like, oh my God, yeah, I want to try it. Show us.
The German girl.
The German girl. She was like, yeah, I want to try it. And me and her brother were like, sure. So yeah, she like got on top of him and it was so fucking funny. Like in Acro, if you see my videos, like there's a guy that's laying down in the floor. So he's laying down with his fucking butthole out. And, you know, he put his hat in his balls and he's just playing with her. And I'm just like, what is this
And
thing?
she's naked too?
No, she wasn't
No,
naked.
she was
We were
because
naked.
you didn't
We were
know.
naked. No,
Okay,
yeah. No, wait, great question. No, she wasn't naked, but bathing suit. And then, and then it was my turn. So I got in the ground and she got on top of me. And then he was helping. So he's here helping, standing. He's just helping. And I can just see his dick like moving. And I'm just in Mexico at a beach doing this thing that I've never heard about. And then fast forward to now, this is what I'm doing for a living. And I'm traveling the world, teaching all these things. And it started because I said yes to this naked guy in Mexico. So many things had to happen, right? Like COVID had to happen. Like they had to shut down the city. My friend had to suggest go to Puerto Escondido. I had to say yes to that. I had to run into this German friends while surfing. You know, it's like so many variables had to happen for me to be at that point in life.
Because you lived your life. You just said yes, as you've
just
mentioned.
Yeah, I guess. And then the next day I went to Tulum. So I flew to Tulum. And in my hostel, there was a flyer, Acro yoga class. And I was like, okay, well, I just did it. And I had, you know, it was funny. Let me see what it actually is all about. And I got there and, you know, it's a lot of fit people and you're all laughing and hanging out. At first, Acro is very funny because you don't know what you're doing and you're kind of falling. So you're constantly laughing. At least for me, that was my experience. Like the first 3 months of Acro, it was just me laughing because it was so impossible to like do it. So yeah, I just had so much fun and I met so many cool people and they were so welcoming.
And so many women, girls?
You meet a lot of women. You're not supposed to say this, but yeah, you meet a lot of women. Is a bonus for that. And I remember I met like that week that I was in Tulum, I met a beautiful German girl, another German girl. And
they are everywhere.
They're
Germans
everywhere.
are traveling a lot.
Yeah, and Dutch people, yeah. And I remember like we went out and like we like made out and stuff right before my flight. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna be fucking doing Acro from now on. And then that slowly became my life as I, you know, because I didn't have tennis anymore and I was doing a little bit of comedy, but I didn't think that I was gonna be any good. So I felt like I grabbed Acro and I was like, okay, this is something I can be good at.
So you're another American whose life changed during COVID.
I guess so.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know, back then I had my life was set. I had my tennis academy. I was doing well. I was traveling a lot, and I had money to just stay wherever I wanted to stay and eat whatever I wanted to eat and all those things. So I never thought like, oh, I'm going to teach this or whatever. But here I am.
What makes it so special? Why did you stick to it? Acro yoga.
Yeah. Number one is just fun. And it is challenging. Like it is hard, especially at the beginning, for your body to adjust to having someone balancing on top of you is hard. So you get a lot of satisfaction when you finally get a move or a skill. You're like, yeah. And then you get to share that excitement with the person in front of you.
Is it always male and female, or?
Not always. There's some guys the two positions are base and flyer. So there's some guys that fly. I could be a flyer because I'm short and not that heavy, but there's some guys that are fucking huge and they're not gonna be that good of flyers because they're heavy, And there's some women that are amazing bases, but again, they're limited because if a woman is small and then you have a big person, then it's hard. So there's amazing women that are bases and there's amazing men that are flyers, but ideally, like the best combination is the man as the base and the woman as the flyer. It's just, genetics takes over, and yeah.
And now you're doing acro yoga retreats all
Acro yoga
over
retreats, yeah. I did my first retreat in Bali a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit less. Yeah.
How was it?
It was amazing. It was much easier, and it went better than I could ever dream and hope. I think I have God didn't give me with many things. He didn't give me height or looks or whatever, but he gave me with good sense of humor, and I have this ability to like solve problems. I think it's good for business. It's good to like be able to think on the spot and not panic when things are going wrong and just try to find a solution. I'm good with japping. So yeah, every issue that came up in the retreat, I'm like, okay, I can fix this. I can fix that.
And would you consider it as a business or as a hobby?
It is a business. For me, it's my only source of income. I mean, right now I have other jobs. Like I'm all over the place. Like I'm helping my friend at a gym. I'm teaching acro. I'm doing photography. I'm like doing whatever. I'm one accident away from sucking dick to make money. True story. So yeah, I'm doing whatever I can to make money to keep this lifestyle going. But my goal is to make my retreats and my events my main source of income. I'm not there yet. It's not to the point where I can just live out of that. But that's the dream. That's my American dream right now to do that, even though I won't be doing it in America.
What's your purpose?
My purpose with these retreats?
Or in life?
In life? Man, I think the purpose of everyone is just to be happy, to live a peaceful, happy life. But that comes in many shapes and forms, right? So like peace for someone can just be reading a book and watching Netflix, right? For me, peace is to have fun, to laugh, to have good memories, to do things that excite me, that raise my adrenaline, that make me feel alive. Yeah, that would be my purpose. Sounds a little shallow, I feel, as I say it out loud, but it is what it is right now.
And you like being single?
Being single is awesome. Like everything has pros and cons. I think back in the day, I wanted a girlfriend so badly, not because I wanted a girlfriend per se, but because my self-esteem was attached to what girls thought of me. So not having a girlfriend meant I wasn't attractive, or I wasn't, worth of a girlfriend, or I was never going to be with someone. But now that I'm not fully over it, but now that I have some self-esteem, I don't need women to feel good. So
what would you tell people who feel the same like you felt back in the day?
I would say,
whether it's girls or boys.
Right, yeah.
Men or women.
Yeah, number one, I would say work on yourself. So if you feel unconfident about something, I think work towards that. Like for me, what helped me, I feel hairy. I was very hairy. So I got a laser hair removal. I was going bald, so I went to get a hair transplant. My teeth were worse than this. Fix my teeth. Got in great
Not
shape.
worse at all.
Well, you know, there's a little
Not bad at
separation
all.
there. There's a little separation there. As you can tell, I'm very like critical of myself. So that's the advice I would give someone. It's not a very spiritual advice. It's very like shallow or what's the word? I can find the word. Superficial. It's a very superficial advice that I'm giving because that's all outer work. Another person might tell you like go in and find why you think you're not worth it or whatever. I tried that in my youth and it just didn't work because every time I go in and I was like, okay, like you are worthy and like it doesn't matter if you don't have a girlfriend, whatever. But when I opened my eyes, like reality hit me. You know, I look in the mirror and like reality hit me. So what worked for me was to work on those insecurities. I was very shy to like this that we're doing now. I couldn't do it, and one of the reasons why I got into comedy was to get over the stage fright and to be able to get over the fact that like talking in public. Like right now, I'm not biting my own words. Right, I can talk freely. I couldn't do that 4 years ago. Just couldn't. The first time that I got up on the stage for comedy, like I couldn't even make eye contact with people. That's how much insecurity I had, right? And comedy helped me with that. It wasn't me sitting in a room like meditating about why do I feel no. I had to take action. So that's what works for me. I don't know if
So
that
you
works for
tackled
everyone.
your worst nightmare?
Yeah, it really for me that's what works.
Mhm.
That's what works. Like if I'm afraid of something, if I know that if I do it, then I won't be as afraid anymore.
And how did the first time on a comedy stage feel like?
Horrible. I mean, and every comedian
Why,
will
why did you do it?
because I wanted well, number one, I've always been the funny guy. Like I always had like that was the one thing that I knew I was funny, but I was too afraid to ever go to a comedy show. I was like, I'm fucking never getting on the stage. Like this is the scariest thing in life. And you know, I just had a lot of free time. And I was like, dude, are you gonna be scared your whole life of doing something that you want? Like you're really gonna be that guy that's just afraid. So what I did was I signed up for a class that I knew had a graduation at the end. And the graduation was a comedy show. So you take the class for like whatever 8 weeks, and then at the end there's a graduation where you have to get on the stage. Because I couldn't do it myself. Like I went a couple times, I put my name, and then they called Ernesto. Didn't get up. Just I was like, where is Ernesto? I don't no idea. I just stay there like an idiot and just left with like just feeling so bad about yourself because like I went there, I was like, yes, I can do it, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, no, I cannot do it. This is fucking insane. So I was like, okay, this is not working because I'm checking out every time. And even if I did go up, I think I would have like it would have been so bad that maybe I would have never come back. So I think the approach that I use of like going to a class and breaking it down and like just breaking it down into like very little digestible pieces helped me a lot. Because then, yeah, I did the thing and I was scared and all those things, but like all my classmates were doing it. And we had like our teacher there, and all the people that went to the show knew that we were beginners. And so, you know, they weren't like hackling us and moo. Now they were like very encouraging. So it was like I was wearing like training wheels, basically. So it was digestible. And then after that, okay, I was like, okay, now let me go to the actual open mic and just slowly started getting better, like very slow.
Do you
Very
still
slow.
do it, comedy?
I don't do it, and it's one of those things that I hate that I don't do anymore. But comedy is a very US thing. This is if you want to do it in other countries, it just doesn't work as well because you got to know the context. Like if I do comedy in Germany, right, and I joke about something that's American, they were gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah,
You
won't
know,
understand.
they wouldn't understand you know, if I call someone a cunt, it's just not the same. Or if I say shit or this or whatever, like little things. Comedy is very like one word can change the meaning of the whole joke.
Yeah.
The way that you say it, intonate. So it's a very American thing, and the fear is back. Like because I haven't done it in so long, now I'm afraid to go back and be terrible at it. Um, So yeah, something I have to
I
fight.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm doing a people podcast in America, not a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
No, but I wouldn't consider myself being funny.
But that's the new that's my new dream. Like if I could snap my fingers and just have, because comedy, like I did it for 2 years and didn't make a dollar. So I never made a dollar in my comedy career. Fail comic. So it's very like if I were to quit everything and do comedy, I would literally be homeless for
No,
like
you
a
didn't
long
fail,
time.
you just stopped.
True. Yes, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, so like I can't do that right now. I can't just like give up everything and start doing comedy because I need to make some money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You immigrated to the United States.
Yep.
Literally. What do you think about what's going on in this country right now when it comes to immigration?
Yeah, it sucks. It's so complex. It's like there's no one answer. Like there's just so many variables and so many lives that are impacted in so many different ways. Um, I think let me just start with like every country needs law and order, right? Like you need to have people need to follow the laws. If you don't have that, then you just have chaos, right?
Like in Venezuela.
Like in Venezuela. And I think, and this is happening all over the world, people go so far to the left that it pushes people to the right.
Mhm.
So what happened in the last years of like democratic, when they were in power is they were letting all these people in and maybe they had good reasons. Like it was coming from a good place of like, let's help all these people, right? But it got to the point that it was out of control. They're just letting everyone in and not even through legal ways. Just everyone is getting in through the border. So there's other people that are looking at that, other Americans that look at that. And I'm not saying they're right, to hate other people, minorities and stuff. They're not right to do that. But they do have the right to, if they don't want that many people in their country like that, they have the right to speak up.
Mhm.
And yeah, because that happened so crazy. Now this is happening so crazy, and it's happening very unfairly. Um, yeah, people that shouldn't be kicked out are getting kicked out, and that's not the American way. Like there's people that just come here to work, man. They just want to have a better life because they have a shitty life elsewhere.
But you said it got out of control. In what way out of control?
I mean, I don't have any tangible examples, but I think if you just do the numbers and you say, okay, 10 million people came in the last, and I don't know the exact number, it could be lower, whatever, but let's just say 10 million immigrants came in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
When you look at America and you see all the homeless problems, you see that, people can't afford rent, all these things, and then you see how many resources are being diverted to those immigrants, right? As an American, I can be like, what the fuck? Like I don't have a home. I'm homeless. I'm a black person in Chicago. I'm a white person in Kentucky. I don't have a home. And then this immigrant is coming in. He just came in, never paid taxes, whatever, and he's getting resources and help and all these things. Why am I not? So I can see why someone would get mad at that. And I see how someone could see that and be like, this is out of control. It might not be, but from their perspective, it is. And when situations like that happen, those people are very easy to manipulate. So that those Americans that are in need, if someone comes in and is like, yeah, it's the immigrants' fault, then they're like, yeah, it is actually, yes. And then when people are in need and desperate, they're very easily manipulated. I think that's just a human condition. When people are in need, they always look up to the guy that says that everything is right. You know.
Do you think Donald Trump is that guy?
Unfortunately, yeah, that's the people have decided that he's the guy that's right.
And why, unfortunately?
I mean, I don't agree with him. I mean, you can agree with Trump in like many of his policies, but why does it have to be him? Like, like yeah, we need a stronger border and security, but like, why does it have to be this fucking guy like at the rally being like, we're gonna lock him up? Like, why can't it just be a normal guy being like, hey guys, this immigration thing is getting out of hand. Let's make it a little bit better. Let's pass some laws. And like, no, it's a guy tweeting like, So I just don't like him as a person.
Mhm.
Maybe I can agree with him in some of his policies and be like, oh, okay, I can see why you're doing this. And I can see why people follow that. But I just don't like him as a person. I just think that you hear him talk and you're just like, why are you the way you are?
So would you consider yourself as a Republican or a Democrat or somewhere else?
I like I said earlier, I don't like labels. And I think if you consider yourself a Democrat, you're crazy. If you consider yourself a Republican, you're crazy. It's crazy to want to be part of these parties that are clearly corrupt, that clearly don't want anything, that are not doing anything beneficial for you. There's no laws being passed that are helping you in any sort of way. It doesn't matter who's in the House, who's in the Senate, who's the governor. It's just both parties are just so corrupted. And to stand there and defend them, like, like if I stand here and I'm like, okay, let me defend the Democrats, right? Like, okay, well, Obama just started droning people in the Middle East and kill Americans. That's just one example out of a thousand. That's just something that I think out of my head. So like, Joe Biden let thousands of immigrants in and the economy tanked under his power. So like, that's Democrats, right? And that's just one of many examples. And if I go to the Republican side, same thing. Like, how am I going to defend anything that Trump says? So it's just crazy to be so tribal and so passionate about a system that's so corrupt. Say, why are you sweating this, dude? Like, just focus on something else in your life. Why you have a sign in your thing, in your front door, like Trump and Biden? Like, dude, they don't care about you. They don't care anything about you. Maybe they do as people, but when they come in, the system is not made for quick change. There's a lot of grease in the system. Like, nothing really happens. Like, I can't remember one thing that Joe Biden did that was special, and I can't remember one thing that Trump did that changed my life. That I was, oh yeah, this is really helping me, and this is really helping my mom and my sister and my community. It's like, I just, maybe most likely I'm wrong,
No, it's so
but
interesting because since I'm here in the US, I talk to so many people about like politics and the party system and yeah, the new administration, everything. And a lot of people think the same way. Yeah. They're neither Democrats nor Republicans.
it's crazy. It's crazy to like,
Consider themselves being somewhere in the middle, but the parties are drifting away, further away from each other. Media, the same thing. So what's the solution?
the solution would be like more. I mean, I don't fucking know. I never studied politics, so I'm just speaking out of my ass
I
here.
studied politics and I don't have one, but
Okay, well,
I'm
yeah,
interested in
you would
your.
know better than me, but this is my humble opinion, talking out of my ass. I think it would just be more parties. Like, you need to have better representation, more options. Like,
More fragmentation in the
yeah,
system, yeah.
I cannot believe that the last election was Biden and Trump. The two, like, one guy couldn't even speak. I mean, then it became Harris, but like, one guy couldn't even speak, and the other one is a lunatic. So like, out of 380 million people in this country, those are the two options. That's not really democracy. Like, the Democrats didn't run a primary, so they're complaining that Trump is this dictator, right? That's their thing. Democrats always like, oh, he's a dictator, and they didn't run a primary. They didn't let RFK run. They like, it's all
Yeah,
a
it
show.
was
It's all
because
farce. And
Biden was the president and then, yeah.
yeah, but if you're
Yeah, I
complaining
understand
about
what you mean.
democracy, like, own it, right? Like, show us that you're about democracy, run a primary. And then they elect Harris. No one voted for Harris. There she was picked. Obviously no one liked her. So it's just like, it's just crazy. When I hear people defending the parties, I'm like, dude, read a book, go watch Netflix. Like, put your time into something more useful.
Mm.
Because
But that's the thing that people do in America in my like experience.
yeah,
They don't want to hear about it anymore.
and they
They're
hate you.
sick of it.
They hate you. Like, if oh yeah, yeah, some people are doing that. Yeah, some people are like disconnected. But I'm talking about like the people that love it so much. Like, like, for example, I've been on dates with women where like they're like, yeah, if you voted for Trump, let me know because I'll leave. Just like that. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you don't even know me, like, nothing, and you're just like, that's just a question that you throw out there. Like, isn't that like hate? Isn't that, judging me without even knowing me? you know, and I have other people that are the other way. Like, oh, if you're a Democrat, like, don't even come talk to me. I'm like, dude, it's crazy. I don't know why people behave that way. So I'm glad that people are disconnecting. Like, it's sad because then the country just gets kind of like, we're just feeding the country to them. Because if we don't vote and we don't do anything, then yeah, they stay in power and nothing really changes. But I don't think people have the desire anymore, like back in the 1900s, to like pick up arms and we're gonna change our country and people are so busy with just being able to pay rent and like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think the healthiest thing is to just live your own life and just yeah. I think for like 95% of the population, the government does not affect your life. Like it's hard to say, but if you're a healthy person, you don't have any health issues, and you're not being oppressed, you're not a black man being shot by the police or whatever, then the government doesn't affect you, you know? And I get it, if you're in a wheelchair, if you're a trans person, if you're an immigrant, if you're a minority and you're being oppressed, yeah, you have the right to be mad and you should fight for your rights. But a lot of people that are like not affected, they lose sleep over this stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I used to be very passionate about politics. My Instagram was all about, you know, politics. And then eventually I realized, like, what am I doing? Like, it's just waste of time. Yeah. I don't know if I'm right. I could be wrong, but yeah, works for me.
How do you said you traveled more than 30 countries in the last couple of years. What would you say is better in other countries compared to the US? I mean, you talked about freedom in Bali
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
Indonesia, those things.
So I just spent so much time in Germany, and I didn't realize this, that the social net in Venezuela, in Germany, so like my friend was telling me all the money she gets from the government. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, you can just be unemployed for a while and be like, okay. And if you have kids, you get another amount of money, and healthcare is affordable and college is affordable. So I think those things are really positive about, especially like Western European countries. That's really nice. In Southeast Asia and those things, I think is really easy to have nothing and just live a happy life. You cannot do that in Western Europe or in the US. So like, if you have nothing, you're just homeless. In those countries, you can just have your little house and not have much, and you can feel that they're happy.
In what country do you think that you've visited the people are the happiest
I
in
think like,
general?
yeah. I think in Bali, people are super, in Indonesia, because I also went to other islands and Lombok, and um, yeah, just people are happy to see you, and they're happy that you're there, that you're intrigued to be in their country, and
That they can be so happy about the little things in life.
yes, yes.
Mm,
And I think
you
it's
said-
because they're so shut from the world. Like, we're not shut from the world. We can see everything, right? So um, comparison is what destroys the spirit, right? So like, we're constantly comparing ourselves. They're kind of shut from the world. Like, if you don't have that many resources, maybe you don't have the strongest internet or the best phone or whatever. So you're just hanging out. Like, you're surfing, or you're going to the waterfall, or you go to the rivers and whatever, and you just live a simple life. And usually they tend to be the happiest.
Do you compare yourself a lot? I mean, you're a lot on social media, I guess, because
Yeah.
it's also.
Oh, for sure. Dude, I'm so addicted to my phone, and I just um
And you said you had those issues back when you were a
yeah,
child.
yeah. They're better. They're definitely better. I'm better off than before, but they're not, all those thoughts are not out of my head. So I constantly have to fight them. Yeah, and especially now that my financial future is so uncertain, it's easy to fall into the trap of like, fuck, where am I even going? Like, I see all my friends who, like, they have been working now for a while, and they're all amassing all this wealth and all these things, and I'm just like, fuck. Um, so yeah, I do compare myself. I think it's human nature. If you're not comparing yourself, then you're not human. You might be
And how do you feel under pressure when you compare yourself to friends who like are amassing wealth, as you just said?
Yeah, I do feel pressure. I think I was thinking this the other day. I think I feel pressure now because in the dating scene, especially now that I'm older, I'm 35. So, the women that I'm dating are also older, maybe like late 20s, early 30s. Um, Women in that stage are looking for, is this guy, what is this guy? Is he cool? Like, does he have his shit together? Can he afford to buy me dinner? Like, and yeah, for me, it's like, if we're in Bali, yeah, I can buy you dinner. But if we're in Atlanta, I don't know, man. We might go to Chipotle for our date.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm starting to feel that pressure. And I just have to be at peace with it and be like, okay, well, this is my journey and this is what I'm doing. And hopefully I'll meet some hippie girl that doesn't have shoes and is homeless.
Do
And
you date a lot?
um lately, no, because I've been just moving so fast that I don't have the chance to like meet someone
Yeah.
deep. A lot of like my things are just kind of like short flings,
Mhm.
which are fun, but they're not very deep, you know?
What's your body count?
Oh, I'm not saying that number out loud for sure. Hilarious. I said it the other day out loud, and my friend was like, "Whoa, you're a whore."
From what you're saying, I guess it's over 100.
I don't know. That would be nice. Over 100 would be nice.
Where would you recommend to go in Latin America?
Um, I love Colombia because it reminds me of Venezuela. They're so similar, like the people, the food, the the nature. It reminds me of Venezuela, so I love it. And so people are very there's great music and great food, and it's very cheap. It's a little bit sketchy. You can, Colombia's not the safest country in the world, but a lot of the time it's just be smart. If you're out, don't walk on the streets at 2 in the morning drunk. Like, I'll rob you if you're doing that, dude. Like, just be smart. If you're in another country, don't do stupid stuff. Like, a lot of times when people get in trouble in other countries, sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it's just an evil person comes and robs you in the middle of the day. You're not doing anything wrong. But I have a feeling that like half the time it's because you're doing some dumb stuff.
Mhm.
You're deciding to go into this party that you don't know anything about in this sketchy place in another country, or you're trying to get in a fight and just be smart. Another country that I love was Brazil. Amazing. Same thing. Brazil is a little sketchy. My a German friend got her phone stolen in New Year's.
Mhm.
But again, it was in New Year's in Rio, in Copacabana, and that beach where it's like you can barely move, and she had her phone out, and it's like, don't have your phone out there. Like, it sucks that happened to you, and I'm not excusing the person that robbed you the phone, but just be smart. Like, if you're in that a place that's that crowded, don't have your phone out. Just have it with you. Um, I love Mexico. Costa Rica is amazing as well. Um, you'll be surprised every time I go somewhere. I'm like, wow, people are living their best lives here. And I didn't know of this place. There's towns that I've gone to in Southeast Asia and South America that like I don't know, like Puerto Escondido. I didn't know Puerto Escondido existed. And then I went there and it's this magical place that changed my life. Right. And I didn't even know. So what I would say is just like, don't overthink it. Just kind of get your fucking backpack and just go somewhere and just try it. Don't go to like Afghanistan and get shot in the head, but like, go to a country and just explore. Just go out there and you'll find something. You'll find adventure. If you just walk somewhere, you'll find something.
What's the best about traveling, in your opinion?
The uncertainty of like you don't know what tomorrow it's like a literally complete blank sheet of paper. You
Mhm.
don't know what's gonna happen. Like, you decide what your day is gonna look like. Here in Atlanta, I know exactly what the fuck is gonna happen every day. I wake up, now I go to this gym that I'm working, and I say hi to people and I train them, and then I go do acro, and like I get in the car and then I get off the car and I shower, and then that's my day, and I go to sleep, and then I literally have the same day the
The
next
next
day.
day.
The exact same day. In Bali, I wake up and I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, my life can change literally the next day. I can meet a girl, or I can meet my future business partner, or I can meet someone that comes to my retreats, or I can meet a mentor, or I can just do fucking mushrooms in the beach. Like it's just endless possibilities. And that's so exciting. I literally just get on my scooter and I go somewhere and I know that something exciting is gonna happen, like no matter what.
But there you're on holiday and here you're at home. That's the difference.
It is. Yeah, I know. It's tough. And like it's like a reality check of like, yeah, not everyone can live that life. But if you have the means, yeah, if you have the means, just go for it. I think a lot of people in America have a lot of money, but they think they don't. And the reason I say that is because I used to have a lot of money and I thought I didn't. I was like, there was a point in my life where I had $30,000 cash because my clients would pay me in cash, and I had so much that I didn't need to deposit it. I was just gonna keep it here. And in my bank accounts, I had like 25,000, and then in Robinhood, I had like another 25. And I remember being like, no, I can't take that extra day of vacation. I can't, because if I do, it's failure. Looking back, it's like, what? You could have literally shut down your academy and told everyone to fuck off. We're closing the academy for the winter. Go play tennis somewhere else. Leave me alone. Come back. And it still could afford my rent and my house and everything. But I was so like afraid to lose what I had. And now that I have nothing, I'm like, dude, I would fucking kill a baby if I could just go back to having that much cash. It's crazy. And so like it gave me perspective. And I see my friends. I know they have a lot of money, but they are trapped. They're in that trap of like, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. This house needs to be bigger. And like, I want the nice car and I want the nice things. And you get in this wheel of like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. And you keep working, and then you forget to live.
Do you think it's a rat race?
A rat race? Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%.
But you got out of it.
Yeah, well, now I'm fucking homeless. So maybe stay in the rat race. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. There's no one way to live a life, honestly. It's just all random. Maybe I succeed. Maybe my retreats become this like famous event thing and everyone wants to go and I can charge $1 million for, a week in Mexico, whatever. Or a year from now, you interview me and I'm back to teaching tennis. I don't know. Life is, I've learned to just not get too attached to things because life can really change for good or worse.
Life is life.
Life is life.
And I love that. There's this one closing tradition we have on our podcast.
Oh, shit, okay.
Our last guest left a question in this book for you, our next guest.
Okay.
You're also, of course,
gonna do the same.
Leaving a question for our next guest. If you could do or be anything you would like that you aren't currently doing, what would that be? No restrictions, anything.
Anything. A comedian.
A comedian?
No. Yeah.
You've been a comedian for 2 years.
For 2 years, a failed one, yeah.
So you would like prefer being a comedian over being an
I would
Acro yoga
do
instructor?
Acro as a hobby. That would be like a hobby that I do. I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This
for
was
being
great.
here.
Yeah.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
All the best.
Thank you, man.